I really don't know how to start on this, but it's always better to live your life out of reality than banking on illusions. And today I need to share one reality with all of you. But let me clarify two things. I am not going away from YouTube or from social media platforms. And second thing is that after publishing this video in next 3 to 4 to 5 days, I will create a different video on whatever comments I get, whatever suggestions I get, and I will take each and every comment of yours and I will talk about it. Now, I do believe that some of you might be angry with this. However, I will humbly request all of you to listen to me before you make an opinion about it. Now, last 4 5 months was not good for me health wise. All of you can see that I have gone bald. I need support to walk most of the time, and despite my best effort to avoid a surgery, I may have to go ahead with that. And whenever you get into these kind of situation, you start looking into what all things you did, what are the right things you did, what are not so right things you did. Now, before I go ahead, let me recap my YouTube story, why I came to YouTube. Now, I was a very good programmer and still is. I'm still coding, I'm still writing code, and people are appreciating me for that. I will not say that I am the best one can get, but I was way above my peers. You can talk to my colleagues about that. I'm not bragging, I'm just telling why I came to YouTube. And during that time, when I saw some contents, I realized that most of the people who are creating contents, they are full-time content creator. And I realized that I can add on to this based on my own experience, because being experienced, being doing something for such a long time, 15 years at that point of time, and saying things will make a difference, because I can talk from more real time perspective, real world perspective. And I haven't left my job to create YouTube videos. I was also working day in and day out over weekdays, creating videos on weekend or late nights. Okay. So my perception was people need to know the reality, and if I can, help them in understanding the reality, how the actual world looks like when you go to code, that would be better. And that was the reason why I started my YouTube channel. So for initially couple of years it was random uploads. From 2017 onwards it was a regular upload, and 2019 onwards I have started showing my face to all of you. Now even after creating content for more than 5 6 years on a regular basis, I still have approximately 23,000 subscribers. And if you consider the scale of YouTube, it's a failure. Though I'm very very happy and thankful to all of you that so many people are listening to me, but from the yardstick of success in YouTube, it's not that. So I have to understand what went wrong. I have to understand that there is something missing out there. There is something wrong. And during the last 4 5 months of my health condition, I have pondered on this particular topic, that why, despite being more aware, despite being more experienced, why I am not getting that much success, what I think I should get. Okay. So I came to a conclusion, and if I can tell you the conclusion in the easiest possible way, I need to use a metaphor. And the metaphor is that, we need to compare passenger capacity of Maruti and Mercedes. Both are car brands. Maruti is mid-segment cars, and Mercedes, all of you know, is a high-end brand. But when you consider these two cars, and if you want to compare these two cars in terms of passenger capacity, both can carry 5 people. So what's the difference? So I was considering passenger capacity with additional feature which wasn't making any sense in terms of market value. So let me ask and answer some questions which lead to this particular decision. Do I think my contents are good? Probably yes. Do I think that my contents are, good for becoming a better software developer? Probably yes. Do I think that my contents are good enough for people to understand? Probably yes. But is it required for people to, look into my content to become a better software developer? Probably no. Do I think that people will require to look into my content to pass interviews? Probably no. Now, the biggest audience based on my own experience is the students, computer science students or other students who want to learn, computers. They are the biggest audience for programming and coding channels. Is it required for them to know about things what I talk about to get a good grades in their examinations, or pass some exams, coding exams? Probably not. And this is where the differentiation factor just diminishes. There is no differentiation factor based on my experience, because whatever I am telling based on my experience, people don't need to, get their first break, pass the interviews, get good grades, and so on. And I have worked hard on it. I mean, the amount of time I have spent in creating all those programming, coding videos, I could have run a company on that effort. So let me ask this question: is it prudent for me to continue going, continue working hard in this particular direction? Some of you might still say probably yes, some of you might say probably no. But this is not the question based on which I have taken the decision. It is the next question. Is it prudent to continue working in this particular area, continue working hard, and remain a fool in the eyes of your near and dear ones? Definitely not. And that's the reason I'm thinking about taking a break from coding in YouTube. It's not that I'm not gonna go and code, because I'll be coding at my office. I'll be coding in my blogs, Medium blogs, and GitHub, because they are relatively easy and I can do it in less amount of time as compared to recording and editing a video. I'll continue to do that because that is something is my USP in terms of my professional career. I'll continue to do that, but I'll continue to do in a way where I can share as well as do that in the least possible time. So the question is, what's next? So even though I was not able to, differentiate myself in terms of programming or coding contents, I refuse to believe that I am someone who can't add value to a software development ecosystem. Being a software developer for more than 22 years and went through multiple roles, I am reluctant to believe that there is nothing where I can add value. I can add value to the things. And I have only said in many of my videos that software development, programming, and coding is part and parcel of a bigger software development ecosystem. And I do believe that I can add value to that particular ecosystem, the complete ecosystem, and looking at the things from the broader perspective, not from the perspective of just coding and programming. So, this is what I'll try to do now. I can also talk about the issues that are faced by software developers. Like, I have created some videos on why user stories don't make any sense, why mob programming don't make any sense. So I can talk about those things. I can, educate people about other aspect of those things, because software developers are not going to talk about that. And because, the people, the lobby who are promoting these, they are very strong, or they became very strong. I can take that particular cost to say that there are other ways also. I'm not saying these things are bad, but there are other ways, and it depends upon the problem being solved and depends upon different software developers also. So bringing in some freedom in that, I can talk about that, because I have nothing to lose. Okay, I'm still working. I have made my own name. I have nothing to lose, so I can talk about it. I can also talk about inspiring product stories, in the area of product program management, inspiring stories of the techies, inspiring product stories, all those things I can talk about. So basically, I would like to talk about things above and beyond programming and coding, and some things which are going to look from the broader perspective. I'm also planning to talk about, current affairs in related to tech. So all those things, all those informations which can help people to take a better decision with respect to the product, the overall product they are developing. So I'm moving myself from inner dimension of software development to some bigger dimension, because today I believe that I can add value in there. And if I can add value to this area also, I can add value to all of you, because there are many people who are talking about programming and coding, but there are less people who are talking about these things, because it needs experience. It needs, like, getting your hands dirty in the same field area to acquire these knowledge. I would also like to, sometimes occasionally create videos on my own techie life, something that is worth sharing. I'm also planning to, once my health is relatively better, I'm also planning to roam around places. I would like to talk about that. Why not? Because there are other things in life above and beyond what we do on a day to day basis. So, this is what I wanted to talk to all of you. I do hope and believe that I'll continue to get your support If you have any query, comment, or suggestion, please do write in the comment section. And within 3 to 4 days of this particular video, I'm gonna take all the comments and I'm gonna talk about that. Okay. Please do remember that all the comments should conform to YouTube community guidelines. Okay. So it was a very big decision for me, and it's not that I may not come back to programming later if something really interesting comes up, but at this moment of time, I'm taking a break. Thank you all. Thanks for watching.